Well, hello everybody. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. I am prepping to leave tomorrow morning for a cross-country road trip up to the state of Michigan. We're currently in Texas. We're moving back to Michigan to be by family. This has been planned for a while. Initially, we were going to fly everybody up, drop off the cat, drop off my daughter, come back, meet the movers, have a couple of weeks to pack without the kids here. And now, though, we're decided with everything happening. You know, at first when this happened, planes were pretty much empty. It probably would have felt safer going on a plane with just 3 or 4 people than driving. But now we see flights are pretty much full, and I have a kid that still likes to put everything in her mouth. So my wife and I decided it would probably be safer to drive. Not sure if that's right or wrong, but it was, gas is cheap right now. Actually, hotel rooms are cheap. Was able to get a suite at a very nice hotel, a 2-room suite, for under $100. It was like $20 more than a standard 2-queen room. I was kind of like, this is a little bit of a family vacation. I'm not sure we're going to take the vacations we planned this year. So let's have some fun. Let's get a nicer hotel room, have a movie night in the hotel room when we stop, and more. For under $100, why not? Let's do it. So we decided, let's cross-country trip. Now, we did take a lot of precautions. I got tons of hand sanitizer. We got wipes. I got Lysol. I got a big thing of wipes right here. And we got Lysol spray and stuff for the hotel rooms. We're going to clean it all up before we allow the kids in there. But it is a little nerve-wracking. When this all happened, we were driving down. So spring break happened here in Texas early March. We went up to Michigan, bought our new home, met with the painters, met with the carpet people. We're like, let's take off the wallpaper. Let's put some new carpet down in the house, do some things like that. Little did we know, on the way down, we're going to get an email from our school that spring break's been extended, that my daughter would never go back. States started shutting down, and on our trip down, it became a very tense feel. You'd go into a gas station, and this is right when people started hoarding everything, toilet paper was flying off the shelves, milk was hard to find, and more, and you could almost cut the tension with a knife. It really had that depressing, ominous feel in the air. Well, now here we are, 2 months later. Is it going to have that same feel? What's it going to be like? How busy are the hotels going to be? We're going to try to find that all out. So let's hit the road together. But let me know, do you feel safer flying or do you feel safer driving right now? Or would you not do any of it? Unfortunately, we are in a position where we have to hit the road. So let's head out. I'm going to go home, load up this car, and load up my wife's car as full as we can get them, and save some money on the movers. And then we're going to get ready for a cross-country road trip. Try to be safe. We got masks. Let's see. I got a bunch of masks we got right here and more. We're going to do our best to do this as safely as possible. But I'm very curious. What's the mood at gas stations? What's the mood in the hotels? How busy are the hotels 2 months later? Are they starting to get back to normal? Let's go find out. Like a quick stop for some fuel at Buc-ee's. Gas was $1.35. I'll say it's not nearly as busy as the last time I came through here, but it's still pretty busy for a Tuesday. So I just checked into my Homewood Suites hotel for the night, and it's a pretty nice room for about $100 plus tax. But it is kind of interesting. The lady at the front desk said there is only about 30% occupancy, so they got 90-some rooms. She said 16 of those are long-term guests. They have some deals with local businesses and more where people can stay here a long time while they're in town for work. I wouldn't be surprised in this area that there are medical people staying in the area. But she said no breakfast, no pool, no fitness room. No evening social. They do have a grab and go bag, but they had all kinds of limitations and stuff up. Even though the meals are not happening, they have signs, no more than 10 people in the little dining area down there at any given moment, and more. Now, the room is been cleaned. They did offer me disinfectant wipes. They had little Ziploc bags with them, but that's okay. I came prepared. Before I get my daughter and stuff down here, let's quickly go over this. So kind of cool, a little shopping. They will go shopping for you, which is pretty nice of the Homewood Suites. There's a few other brands like this out there, but one of the things I've liked about staying at these when I go for a long period of time is the fact that they do that. Even has a Blu-ray player, not just a DVD player. So that's a pretty nice hotel. Let's see here. I will wash my hands once this is all done. But we're going to hit all the important areas. I'll wipe that down a little bit later. Okay, there's the remote. I'll do a little bit better job of this in a minute. No room service, none of that right now today. They are pretty well limited. So I'm going to go get everybody out of the car, but overall, not a bad hotel for the price. Very friendly staff. And one of the things I found interesting was occupancy's going back up after she said pretty much everybody canceled the reservations in March. People are starting to show up again. Well, it's end of day one. I made it to Joplin, Missouri, all the ways from the middle of Texas, just outside of Austin, Texas. And the trip went very well. It was definitely less busy on the roads than typical. The traffic was way lower, but not as low as I expected. There was a lot of traffic, even when we went through some of the less popular roads. It was pretty busy out there, people out and about, getting through stuff. What I did find interesting, though, was in Texas, we're opening up. You've probably seen it on the news. A lot of people think Texas is opening too fast, not being safe enough. Compared to Oklahoma, Texas is a lot more safe. Went into a restaurant real quick, a little fast food place, wanted to use the bathroom, so we decided to order inside and take it to go. And their dining is wide open. None of the staff wearing face masks. One had it at the cash register, but was dangling around her neck. No gloves. They did have hand sanitizer everywhere in the restaurant, but people were at tables. They weren't even, it's not like they blocked off every other table or anything. It was like business as usual. And we saw that in a few different places in Oklahoma. That makes Texas look like it was a lot more locked down than Oklahoma. Now, I didn't think anybody was being unsafe, but we'll see. In Texas, I saw a lot more people wearing masks than I saw in Oklahoma or Missouri. Here in Missouri, I just ran inside. I went and picked up a thing of milk for my daughter. And if you have kids, you know how milk time at night is huge. So I could have got this at a gas station, but I decided to run into a Walmart real quick, kind of check it out. Now here, unlike my local Walmart in Texas, they actually had somebody at the door counting, had an iPad. It was really cool. She was, adding people and subtracting people. And there was about 300 people in the store. So she said they were getting kind of real at the border of their limit on how many people they could bring in right now for this particular Walmart and the local rules. Now, a few things, drop in some videos real quick. Hand sanitizer, soap in great supply. It's that off-brand that I've been seeing at Walmarts recently. And while there was no disinfectant wipes, there were boxes for disinfectant wipes. You could see that they recently had it in stock and sold out, but disinfectant spray is in stock. Now, I'll encourage you, if you are looking for disinfectants, get the spray. I believe it works better. I've had doctors tell me this. If you're inside your home and you want to clean, use the spray it down, leave it there for 10-15 seconds, and then wipe it thoroughly to really kill any viruses. Wipes are great. Like, I got wipes here when I'm on the road. They're not bad. But I hear disinfectant spray is actually better. I don't know. Is anybody out there an expert? Anybody a doctor? Anybody who studied this? Leave me a comment. Let me know if that's true or not. But I've heard that is true. And there was Clorox. There was Lysol disinfectant available here. Not in huge quantities, but for 5:30 in the afternoon, it was pretty good, pretty good amount, especially with the hand sanitizer. Especially since I've been noticing mostly these trucks come in the morning. Now I'm gonna go put gas in the car real quick, get everything prepped so in the morning we can just go. But so far, it's definitely been an interesting trip. Not nearly as spooky of a feel in the air as when we drove down in March, when just as all the stay-at-home orders were coming in, people are a lot more relaxed. A lot people just out and about like nothing is different. You know, huge family groups, no masks, no nothing, hanging out. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here. But overall, I felt pretty safe on the trip. Going into like the gas stations and stuff, definitely a lot less people there than typical, probably because people are driving less. Well, hang in, I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, so the name is kind of weird, but these are possibly my new favorite gas stations. This kind of came into the area when I was in Missouri quite a few years ago when I lived here. They're actually really nice gas stations. The come and goes. If you ever in the area, they are often very clean, very nice bathrooms, at least the ones I've stayed in. And the Go Fresh market with food and vegetables and fruit and all kinds of stuff. It's really good, so check it out. Now, one thing I forgot to mention in my earlier comments yesterday was the price of gas. It was, right now I'm paying $1.39 here. I did see at one location $1.29, and a lot of locations about an hour ago before I hit Joplin was about $1.35. So at least in this Oklahoma, Missouri area, that seems to be the average price. Highest I saw around here was $1.49, and that was in one of those like truck stop areas where you often expect to pay more. So definitely a lot cheaper to get gas to travel across country than it was even a few months ago. I'm all for shopping local and everything, but when I think a sign that says environmentally friendly local brick, within 500 miles isn't what I was thinking of as local. 500 miles is quite a large area actually, but at least it's probably not coming from overseas being shipped in. Just kind of struck me as interesting to have this sign here promoting local brick, that they get this within 500 miles. Remember when I said it was kind of busy on the roads, more so than I expected? This is at about 6 p.m. Central Time on a fairly busy drag. Lots of stores, lots of restaurants. And I've been in Joplin, I've been in this area. And if you had told me, just look at this video and say if it happened during the virus or if it happened last year at this time, I couldn't tell you. The traffic looks exactly the same everywhere right now. There is a lot of people on the road here in Missouri. Well, I just checked into our DoubleTree Hotel here in Bloomington, Illinois. Hope I said that right. Absolutely great room. About $120 plus tax and all that. Big kitchen, kind of weird. Huge kitchen, bigger than our Homewood Suites. Both Hiltons. This one just has a tiny little fridge here. The Homewood Suites had a full-size kitchen and a much bigger microwave. But $120 plus tax is a very nice room here. Though I've noticed this grade trend I'm seeing in a lot of hotels. Slightly depressing? I don't know. Am I the only one that thinks this is all depressing? Now, Illinois is clearly a lot more locked down than Missouri. Face masks required all over the place. People wearing them. A lot of people still not wearing them. But what I did notice, very nice bathroom though. Toilet seats left up for some reason. But here, they actually have the pool open. Talk to the front desk. They aren't doing most of the food service, most of the other stuff, but they do have the front desk open and that, or the pool open, excuse me, there. So I thought that was kind of interesting, but we're here again. Let's spray this down before my daughter gets in here, because kids touch everything. So I'm kind of finding it interesting what is open, what is not open. I will say crossing into the border of Illinois was very clearly a lot more people concerned, a lot more people wearing masks and more. On the flip side though, we'll see. I think it is interesting. A lot of it is, they're more concerned. There's more people wearing this stuff, but there's still a ton of people who are not. This is controlled by a wall unit. So, yes, last time I did flip these over and sprayed the backside too. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting. The road trip has been very tough. There's often times where we would normally stop and get out and sit at a restaurant and do different things that you just can't right now. You just can't go out and do that kind of stuff, and that's made this trip a lot more difficult than normal. If it wasn't for the fact that we have to move, I probably wouldn't. A little thing here. Now, funny story, I actually went to school for hospitality tourism management. One thing I learned is most hotels absolutely love going green because it means they don't have to do things. They don't have to wash the towels as often or the bedding. It saves hotels a ton of money. One other thing real quick I've noticed on this trip, this is the first place that's actually had an extra roll of toilet paper. I'm assuming because everybody was taking the toilet paper that they stopped putting toilet paper out. So one roll there, one roll down there. But in other hotels, recently I've noticed just a sign that says, hey, if you want an extra roll of toilet paper, please call the front desk. So I'm going to go get the girls, get them in here, get set up, go check out the local Walmart, see how that's doing. But definitely a lot less lockdown here in Illinois. But I will say, though, pretty nice room for $120. If we're not taking a family vacation this year, hanging out here, we're going to watch a movie night. I'm going to get some popcorn at Walmart. And we're going to have a little family movie night in the hotel. Well, it's the end of day 2. Tomorrow is the final day of the trip. We will have relatively an easy day heading up from Illinois into Michigan. See a family with the cat, with the kids, and everything else. We decided to kind of take this as an easy trip, not try to go too hardcore on it. Now, a few things I've noticed here. Illinois is a lot more locked down. It's the most locked down state of any state I have seen so far. Now, it's interesting. I see a lot of signs and doors that say no service of not wearing a mask. I believe that's a state rule. Somebody leave me a comment. Is Illinois mandating or masks in stores for the whole state? I found about 80% people are doing it. Walmart here even, and several truck stops and different places we stopped at are not really enforcing that. Even had one truck stop cashier, somebody came in with it, was like, oh, I need my mask. He was like, whatever, don't worry about it. So I thought that was interesting, but about 80% of people are wearing masks here, at least in this Walmart and in different gas stations I have seen, as opposed to Missouri, where it was maybe 80% of people were not when just going into a random gas station. Now, a few things I did find interesting. I just ran into Walmart, but first, real quick, I'll point this out. Gas prices are about 50 to 80 cents higher here on average than I saw in Oklahoma, Texas, and Missouri. I forgot how much more expensive gas is in Illinois. So my sympathies, anybody who lives in Illinois deals with gas prices that high when just over the border, literally going from St. Louis, Missouri side to Illinois, boom. 60, 70 cent jump in gas. I don't know. I mean, if I lived on the border, I'll be driving over to Missouri. Ran into Walmart here. I'll drop some clips in real quick. Hand sanitizer, unbelievably abundant. Even saw hand sanitizer and face masks at gas stations in Illinois. Illinois seems to be flooded with hand sanitizer. Even some name brands, which have been hard to find, like Germex, has been appearing. Beef was, we heard so much recently about beef and chicken shortages. Beef here was in great supply. Chicken was in lighter supply. A lot of whole chicken, some ground up chicken, different types of chicken. Now, it is about 4 p.m. Central Time, local time here. So, end of the day, maybe they're a little light. The one thing I was shocked about was the cleaning supplies. Very cleared out here in Illinois compared to other areas. Only one bottle I found of disinfectant spray. Everything else was gone. So it definitely seems that a lot more people are stocking up on that in total. But the store overall, though, was very well stocked. Everything felt very full, very few limits on items other than ground beef and chicken and hand sanitizer. The toilet paper aisle, paper towel aisle is completely jam-packed full of it. Maybe quite not to pre-pandemic levels, but very full. So I thought it was very interesting. The one thing I really noticed here in Illinois, though, is the feeling of depression. I know a lot of restaurants are closed, a lot of businesses are still closed, the face masks. I don't know if that all kind of comes together, where in other states people are opening back up, people are going back to work. Is that helping people feel a little bit more comfortable, in life? But it kind of reminds me a lot of Texas and Michigan when we was there in March and April when things were really gloomy. And I got that feeling here in Illinois where I didn't feel that in Missouri and Oklahoma. So I'm no psychiatrist. I'm not sure what to make of that. But when you look at people's faces, when you look at the body language, something I've been paying attention to, you definitely had a feeling that people are more worried here in Illinois. Does it have to do, I know we're not in Chicago. I know Chicago is much more of a hot spot than many of the other areas, like in rural Missouri, for example. So we'll see. But let me know, have you noticed that in your area? Are you from Illinois? Are you finding tensions high? Are you finding maybe in other parts of the country, tensions are starting to lighten up a little bit? As people maybe see the light at the end of the tunnel a little bit, rather it be fake or false, real or false hope. I don't know. I'm not, here to judge on that, but let me know if you've seen that at all. But I'm going to go gas up the car for tomorrow, prep everything. The hotel pool's open. There's no one in our hotel. The pool area is empty. So I think we're going to take our daughter out there and go swimming. I don't know how safe that is. We'll wipe everything down when we get there before we set any of the chairs or anything. But there's no one there. And the hotel's basically empty. So we're going to try to have some fun and try to enjoy maybe our only vacation of 2020. We'll see. So I'll be back in a moment for our final trip. Well, we made it. We are in rainy, cold, expensive Michigan. So the trip is over. I just ran into another here in Meyer. It's at a Walmart, which is a huge chain here. At least where I am, it's bigger than Walmart is. Store, checked out, was very surprised to find a ton of meat. I've heard from a lot of people in the area that meat was hard to find. When I went in there about 4 p.m. Eastern, the beef and the chicken section, jam-packed, pork, very full. Of course, maybe a few items were a little low, but good supply. Paper towel was good. A lot of disinfectant cleaner. Wipes were nowhere to be seen. And no hand sanitizer. This is the first store I've been in on this trip where there was no hand sanitizer. Makes you wonder a little bit if Michigan is having a harder time here. Is the stay-at-home orders maybe scaring more people into continuously panic buying? I don't know. It's a good question. When this is all over, I'd love to have a in-depth analysis of how people are reacting to this in the different states, where different states with different reactions cause different behaviors. It'd be a very interesting case study to look into. But milk, food, all that, huge supply. Doesn't seem like anybody's going to be starving up here at all. This was definitely an interesting trip. Definitely be careful. I know some people will be like, you shouldn't be traveling, you need self-quarantine. We definitely will be self-quarantining after this trip. Unfortunately, when you gotta get out of your house, your next house is up here. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. We need a place to live, and the place we bought was up here before this all happened. These plans were. We definitely made changes to our itinerary. We definitely made a lot fewer stops. We wore masks. We washed our hands. Definitely went through a good amount of our hand sanitizer. We have 2 of these, one for my wife's car, one for mine. We went through a lot of that. We cleaned the hotel rooms ourselves separately. And now that we're here by family, we're going to be self-isolating for a little while, especially from like my grandmas who are in their 80s. We're not going to be running around by them. Overall, I was shocked. In states where there's a mandatory mask wearing, say about 80% of the people are doing it. In states where there wasn't, in Texas, I would say it's about 50%. But in Missouri, Oklahoma, I would say it was like 20% people wearing masks, which I thought was a little interesting. But in Illinois and Michigan, where it's mandatory, I would say about 80% people are wearing masks. I saw, different responses in different areas. Some gas stations have now taken away their self-service, coffee and fountain drinks, and actually have an attendant there. I'll throw a little video real quick I shot here of a pilot where they did that, where the attendant, you would come up and say, hey, I want a Coke, I want a I want to get a coffee or whatever, and they'll make it for you. So definitely felt like there was a lot of varying responses to this, even within the same states. Stopped at a different pilot in the same state, and there I could go make myself my own cup of coffee. So actually it was a Love's. I take it back. Love's was the one that's doing it. Pilot, I could make my own. So Love's, I don't know, is this a national thing that all Love's are now having an agent or a customer rep do that. So it was definitely interesting. I definitely felt the gloom the farther I got north into Illinois and Michigan. People seem a lot more depressed here. I don't know, because it's rainy and cold and gloomy. I don't know if it's because of the stay-at-home orders. I don't know. It was definitely a noticeable change. But I'm glad this trip is over. I'm glad we're up here. I'm glad we can settle in for a while. But it was very eye-opening. And for instance, I drove through Chicago, 8:30 a.m., prime rush hour, didn't slow down at all, hit no backups. Chicago traffic was shockingly light, to be honest with you. Shockingly. There's a good amount of cars out there. Saw earlier, I put a clip of Bloomington, Illinois, very light traffic. So it definitely seems like, in areas where they are very hard on the lockdown, traffic is definitely lighter. So it definitely seems to be having an impact. But that's it. That's my impressions. There's my thoughts. I would really love to see, once this is all done, that we can, look at the psychological impact and how people responded to these different things. Because there definitely seemed to be a big difference between Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri compared to Illinois and Michigan. The differences were night and day, to be honest with you, and what the mood was when we were out and about. So, personal opinion, I'm no expert, but that's just something I noticed. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. This is a little different than what I do, but I thought this was something so weird that I should document it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for your support. Let me know what you think. I'll love to hear from you.